Greetings and welcome to episode 157 of the Words About Gamescast, the weekly video game podcast for Words About Games. I'm your host, Amy Alexander, and I'm joined this week by Keith Robinson. I didn't take a breath before I started the intro because I wanted to catch you out with your countdown. That was a mistake.
And forced me into doing a second countdown just so you could do that as well. Was a mistake.
Yeah, I know. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that.
You have made an enemy this day.
It's a battle. It's a meaningless battle, but I feel like it's a battle we need to fight. Battle for control over the start of this podcast. How are you doing, Keith?
I'm alright. How are you doing?
I'm good. I gave up on Days Gone. When you're playing a game and you think because you thought it should be good, you're trying to will it to be good, but it's not good. So then I started playing SteamWorld Quest on my Switch, and I was like, oh, this is what fun's supposed to feel like.
Can you hear that? It's almost like the sound of thousands of angry gamers calling out in agony.
Yeah.
And then we're silenced because I don't read the comment section.
And then they were silenced because I blocked them all.
So you don't like Days Gone?
It's not I don't like it. It's just kind of boring. And by kinda, I mean it's really boring. It's cool when you run around a corner and there's 200 zombies around the corner, and then you're like, ah! But then inevitably you either get away or die horribly. Or do what I did when I was stupidly trying to do a mission where you have to turn the power on in this building to get inside, because it's like a lockdown. But when you do, all the speakers go on, so the zombies nearby will come to say hello. And when I was doing that, there was a horde around the corner, and I was like, I could, it's the Zelda thing of, I'm trying to climb a mountain, and it starts raining. And logically, I should just stop trying to climb the mountain. But I'm like, no, I want to do this because I'm here now. Then this fucking bullshit that I got. So I did. It took me about 10 attempts just to manage to break the 3 speakers before the horde came around the corner. And then I was like, okay, I've got the plan. It's a totally awesome plan. This is all on stream, so you can check out the VOD over at twitch.tv/wordspotgames. And then I was like, okay, I've got this run down perfectly. Bam, speaker, bang, speaker, run, jump, horde's coming, hide in a bin. And I feel like, because the speakers are on, the horde's just going to wander off. Nah. I spent 5 to 10 minutes in the bin. Just they're not going away. They're not going away. And then I got out, and then I was like, I'll get my bike, and then I'll ride it away. And then I got on my bike, and because the main character takes a million years to fucking mount his bike, by the time he almost started getting his leg, a zombie came over and knocked it over, and then I died. And I was like, this is stupid. If I was being chased by a zombie horde, and I had a motorbike, and it was my only means of getting away, I would not safely mount that motorbike. I would just jump on the motherfucker. But no, apparently Deacon St. John just doesn't. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck this. Playing SteamWorld Quest is a lot more fun. And that is apparently how I am. I had some stuff to get off my chest. Days Gone is stupid. Days Gone is stupid. Anyway, this is the Words About Gamescast. Every single goddamn week, we discuss 5 topics centered around what's been going on in gaming, the games industry, and games culture before leaving you with a list of games that are coming out this week. Had a moment of mild panic there when I was like, did I do that last part? Yeah, I did that last part. It's fine. This week, we discuss that time Randy Pitchford started a controversy about his new game all by himself, Rocket League developer Psyonix being acquired by Epic Games, Riot Games facing a mass employee walkout, Minecraft creator Notch being excluded by Microsoft from a 10-year Minecraft anniversary party for being a piece of shit, and Microsoft's attempts to define suitable trash talk for Xbox Live. As always, if you want to skip around this video, see certain parts, watch the entire thing in complete reverse order. You can do that. There are timestamps below in the description of this video on YouTube. I almost said they were below the description. The comments are below the description. Never go that far now. Never go that far. Especially not when we talk about Notch. Never go that far now. Should we jump in?
Yeah, let's jump in feet first.
Feet first. Number 1. Gearbox CEO throws a tantrum over accurate reporting. Now I've split this up into 2 handy dandy parts. Couldn't think of the word parts. It's right in front of me on my iPad. Yeah, it's going to be one of those kind of shows. Also, I didn't do any notes because I forgot I hadn't done them. And then it was like, oh no, you mentioned them just before we started recording. And I was like, oh well. We're going in noteless. Part 1, Borderlands 3 won't have loot boxes. This is from Elise Favis over at Game Informer, who wrote, during a live stream dedicated to Borderlands 3's first ever gameplay reveal, Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford took to the stage and told the audience that the upcoming game, quote, won't have microtransactions, end quote. And I watched this part of the stream, and he definitely said those exact words. To clarify, Pitchford is talking specifically about how you won't be able to buy weapons, gear, or anything that affects gameplay. Cosmetic items, however, are still purchasable with real money. Quote, we're selling cosmetic items, but we're not going to nickel and dime players, said Gearbox's Paul Sage in an interview with us. DLC will come down the line, but the game won't have anything excessive, end quote. And then there was an update, in which basically, I won't read the quote, but 2K Games has sent a statement confirming that cosmetic items will be for sale in Borderlands 3. Sounds fairly simple, if a bit odd in the messaging. So Randy Pitchford stood on stage and he was talking about Borderlands 3. And he was like, oh yeah, you know, blah blah, this game is this game is that, blah, and it won't have microtransactions. To which, like, everybody was like, okay, that's really good. And he got the big cheer, you know.
Yeah.
No microtransactions, woohoo! And then afterwards, like, a bunch of people wrote this story and they were like, actually, it does have microtransactions. Like, it was clarification. No one was angry. Everybody was just like, it will have microtransactions because you buy cosmetics.
Yeah, but it won't have loot
with real money. Those are, you know, it's a transaction of a micro amount of money to buy a thing in a game. It's a microtransaction. Do you want to go into what Randy Pitchford did next, or shall we just? I don't think there's anything to really belabor in that first point, is there?
Yeah, it's basically he did a Donald Trump, which is he took to social media on his own phone and went right.
Part 2. Randy Pitchford responds on Twitter. There's 2 threads. The first thread is of 3 tweets, and the first tweet is the Game Informer. I chose the Game Informer article specifically because it was the one that kind of set him to self-destruct. So tweet 1, Game Informer tweeted out with a link to their article, which I've just read, and said, despite Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford's comment about no microtransactions in Borderlands 3 during today's livestream, we've been told cosmetic items are still purchasable. Yeah, guys, this is what he said, but we're just clearing it up so there's no confusion.
Yeah.
This is literally like the thing. And if this was you, and you were making a game, and you'd said this thing, and then it was clarified by Game Informer, how would you respond to Game Informer? If you were a
I don't think I would directly respond.
It seems like Paul Sage is doing the work for you, right? He's going out there, he's giving statements, he's like, this is what we actually meant. Oops.
Yeah. Oops, we meant loot boxes, not microtransactions.
Yeah. So here's how Randy Pitchford responded to that specific tweet in 2 tweets. Number 1, come on, guys. Shitty clickbait headline. Let me just scroll back up to the headline. Borderlands 3 won't have loot boxes. Oh, that seems pretty accurate to me personally. Anyway, the rest of the tweet goes, literally seconds before I said that, I made it very clear we're going to do more cosmetic stuff like we did in Borderlands 2. You did say that, but then you said no microtransactions, which is the part that needed clarifying. Okay, cool. Fact-checking on the fly. You know I was talking about premium currency and loot boxes kind of stuff not being in our game. Again, that's directly contradictory to what you said. Sorry, I'm having thoughts as I'm reading this. The next tweet was, "Why you guys would fuck me on this is beyond me. Thanks a lot." Anyway, at a certain point, which is where the story became to my attention, Andy McNamara, editor-in-chief at Game Informer, responded to Randy Pitchford's response. Which I guess, like, if someone's calling, especially if the CEO of a game developer is talking shit about your outlet, especially when that game developer is Gearbox and their publisher is 2K Games, like one of the biggest game publishers on the planet, you'd be like, hold up a minute. So Andy McNamara responds, "In my opinion, you can't say no microtransactions when there's microtransactions and then be angry we made a tweet focusing on that angle. Apologies you don't like the despite." Randy Pitchford, it's at Duval Magic. "It clarifies what we feel is a misleading comment, which the story lays out clearly." And then he goes on to say, "Yes, cosmetics have no influence on gameplay, but they are indeed microtransactions. Many free-to-play games use that as their only monetization. I feel the comments about my team and our outlet are uncalled for, and I back up our reporting in this case." How do you feel Andy McNamara handled himself in that first reply to Randy Pitchford? I feel like
that is a measured and accurate response.
Yes, it was like, no, this is what happened. This is what we did. This is why we did it. And I'm defending our people, our outlet, our writer on their story. Do you think it ends there? Oh, no, it doesn't end there. Here's what Randy Pitchford said in response to this. "I cannot believe that your response here is to double down on an implication made in a tweet that I was being misleading. Watch the stream for yourself. I was doing the opposite of being misleading. This was the most transparent preview event I have ever heard of." Oh, Randy. We'll get to that one in a moment. Also, it's really funny how it's Randy and Andy. Sorry, I just noticed that. Anyway, Andy McNamara hit back. "Clear would be a statement like, we have microtransactions, but they are cosmetic and don't affect gameplay. That's my opinion. Calling us names doesn't seem constructive. I'm sorry we disagree." Randy Pitchford, "Calling you names? You guys called me a liar. I need to know, is your position here that I lied?" To which Andy McNamara, who at this point I wouldn't have the patience of Andy McNamara, he replied, "No one called you a liar. We are saying the message is confusing and we wrote a story to clarify it. Tell me what in the story is wrong and we will correct it. Give us a statement. I want accurate reporting, but we are allowed to have a view and an opinion, and I have tried to clearly lay out our stance." And interestingly enough, after he asked that question, they did get a response. Wow, right? Wow, this is the CEO of a AAA game developer.
Yeah.
And it's like that meme. Literally every word of what you just said is wrong.
Yeah. Well, it's why I wouldn't have you went old Trump, which is basically going off by yourself, saying a load of stuff on Twitter on your own phone and stuff, when what you really should have done was let your PR and marketing department handle it. Because by the sounds of it, they had already handled it, which was to clarify that there were going to be microtransactions. They were purely cosmetic. What meant to be said was that there wasn't going to be any loot boxes or pre-recorded and anything game-changing in the game.
Yeah, and you know what the stupidest part about this entire meltdown? I mean, there's many stupid parts. We'll get into most of them. Nobody was angry. Like, it was they've got cosmetics for microtransactions. No one was pissed off. Game Informer wasn't exactly like starting a witch hunt. They were just like, "Oh, Randy Pitchford said this one thing, but here's what he actually meant. Cool, we out, cool, good day." Yeah. And Randy Pitchford was apparently like, "No, this will not stand."
This far, no further, because
I was doing the opposite of being misleading. No, You weren't doing the opposite. You were literally being misleading. Nobody was angry at you about it. Like,
nobody thought you did it deliberately.
Yeah, nobody thought you did it on purpose.
No one's even come out and said that he deliberately did it. It's they just fluffed up between loot boxes and microtransactions.
At worst, he went for a line that he knew was going to get the big round of applause and the cheer, without thinking, "Oh, hang on a minute." Like, whoa, like people are pissed at him now. Like, nobody was pissed off at him when he did that.
I'm suddenly wondering about when a microtransaction becomes a macro transaction.
Monocles.
I was actually thinking the Dead or Alive the DLC bundle.
$1,000.
What do you mean it's 3 times the base game?
It's not. It's $1,000. Dead or Alive 5 was like this. Like, by the time, because when we covered it was in the infancy of Dead or Alive 5. I'm pretty sure that was our first ever podcast. Where by the time it was done and it was over, and Dead or Alive 5 is like $1,000 worth of DLC.
Like 10 times the amount of the game now.
Could be more. But yeah, it's like, piss might not be the right word. Everybody just thinks Randy Pitcher is an idiot. Like, just put the phone down, Randy. Nothing good will come of this.
Yeah.
You're insane. Like, this was the most transparent preview event I have ever heard of. Ever heard of.
Yeah, it's just like a Gearbox here, like security team outside in these rooms, like, put the phone down.
Yeah, it's just like escalated. He's just sitting there. He's listening to metal, and he's got like bourbon and a bottle of bourbon, and he's not drinking from the glass. He's just going straight from the bottle. He's no, I have to tell him. He's wrong. And the Game Informer are being wrong.
This is entirely us just having a bit of a
yeah, no.
We don't actually believe that he has a drinking problem or anything like that.
No.
And I just realised that Dead or Alive 5 is actually a free-to-play game.
Sort of, yes. But it wasn't when we talked about it the first time. There's a free version of it. But yeah, no. I mean, I can
see... £997 worth of DLC.
I can see why... Randy Pitchford thinks that this was the most transparent preview event he's ever done, because, I mean, he did the preview event for Aliens Colonial Marines, which, as we know, was not transparent in the slightest. So, I can see why I would think that.
You went there.
I went there. There's lawsuits and stuff to back me up, like, in this regard.
Yeah.
About misleading advertising, like... And, like, the game might have been better received were it not for a single typo. But that's Aliens Colonial Marines.
And not this game.
And not Borderlands 3, which is just like, I don't know, man. Like, this doesn't really affect anything. Like, you know, like, the microtransactions are about the best you can expect in a video game these days. Like, it's still kind of stupid that they're in a full-price game, whatever. Lost that battle a decade ago. But it is like... What? Like, that's my, like, yeah, what? That's my whole takeaway. Like, why? Why would you do this, Randy? Why? Do you just have some grudge against Game Informer? Like, the saddest part is all the people jumping in and defending Randy Pitchford, because, like, you know, they have that zero-sum game terminal hatred of any video game journalism ever, where they're like, yeah, just tell those game journalists, you know, how dare they lie about you. Oh, those game journalists are always misleading people. Like, critical thinking, guys.
I think that's a course that was lost on many things.
Like,
so let's move on.
Where's the Nathan Fillion gif when you need it? Anyway, speaking of Nathan Fillion gifs, this prompted an interesting reaction from the internet at large, and by the internet at large, I mean that tiny little minority of people who, unfortunately, I seem to see on a daily basis on Twitter and stuff. That's weird. There we go. That's better. Rocket League developer Psyonix has been acquired by Epic Games. Yeah, the most popular games company in the world right now. There's two parts to this news story. The main part is, of course, Epic acquires Psyonix. Future of game on Steam remains unclear. I changed this headline from a story from Matt Wales over at Eurogamer. For shame, Eurogamer. You should have updated your story, but you didn't update the headline. As I put in a note, I changed the title of the article to better reflect an update to the story. So I had to cut the article short and reword it slightly. But here we go. Epic Games has announced, presumably in another giggling confetti shower of Fortnite cash, that it's in the process of acquiring four-wheeled fight phenomenon Rocket League and its developer Psyonix for an undisclosed sum. And suddenly, all of the criticisms I had about Eurogamer's title of this article melted away in a giggling confetti shower of Fortnite. That's significant news given Rocket League's enormous popularity. It sold over 10.5 million copies across all platforms with 57 million registered players. It was free. I'm thinking, how the fuck did they do that? It was free on PS Plus a while ago when it came out. And marks another wad-flinging gambit in Epic's aggressive grasp for PC storefront dominance. Matt Wales is just on fire. And then I had to stop the rest of the story, which goes on for many, many more paragraphs, because there was an update. Which is note, the rest of the original article talks about Rocket League being removed from Steam by the end of 2019. However, an update came through. Epic has offered an update on the confusingly worded statement issued to press earlier regarding Rocket League's future status on Steam, now insisting that it has not announced plans to stop selling the game there. No, I'll get to that in a minute. In its initial press release, Epic wrote that the PC version of Rocket League will come to the Epic Games Store in late 2019. In the meantime, it will continue to be available for purchase on Steam. Thereafter, it will continue to be supported on Steam for all existing purchasers. That combination of in the meantime and thereafter reading as if Rocket League's sale on Steam would continue only until it transitioned to the Epic Games Store later this year. In a new statement issued to US Gamer, however, Epic has said, we are continuing to sell Rocket League on Steam and have not announced plans to stop selling the game there. Rocket League remains available for new purchases on Steam and long-term plans will be announced in the future, end quote. All of which feels a lot like a game of semantic evasion, but for now the takeaway is that Rocket League may or may not continue to be sold on Steam post its Epic Games Store debut. Epic have leveled up. No longer content with just buying games exclusivity for 1 year. Now they're just buying the developers.
It's the sequel, isn't
it? Yeah, this is the sequel. I mean,
they came for your games, then they came for your developers.
Yes. Damn you, PC gamers. I mean, I don't really think, whatever. I mean, my stance on Epic Games, the Epic Games Store is, I think, well chronicled in this podcast at this point, where I'm just like, I'm playing a game on the Epic Games Store right now. I mean, not literally right now. A game I am playing is available on the Epic Games Store. And you know what? It still works. Instead of clicking that little Steam icon, I just click the one that says Epic. And then I'm assuming it says games underneath. But it's really small and I can't read it. And then I just click the game, and then the game loads. And then it's like, I'm playing the game like, ooh. There is absolutely no difference to playing a game on Steam here. Yeah. But them buying a developer, I mean, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, it shows the beginning to it shows that they have enough capital behind them to really branch out and develop.
I mean, they've got the Fortnite books, right? The giggling confetti of Fortnite cash.
Yeah.
How does confetti giggle? No, never mind. Let's not go down that rabbit hole. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't play Rocket League. I couldn't get into it. I'm not very good at it. So I was like, it's fun. Don't get me wrong. But I was like, I'm not going to play this. The only concern I would have is, as the article correctly points out, it really does quite heavily imply that they're going to stop selling Rocket League on Steam.
Yeah.
Which, on the one hand, is just like, yeah, but then they'll just sell it on the Epic Games Store. But
Yeah.
it's how they support Rocket. Like, in the hypothetical of if Epic stopped selling Rocket League on Steam, however many millions of people who have bought it on Steam will still be able to play it.
Yeah.
Because that's how it works. That's how it's always worked. I'm just going to lock them out of it. But how does future support work? Like, the next time there's a DLC pack for Rocket League in, say, 2020, spring 2020, and it's an Epic Games Store exclusive, and it's like, well, is that going to come to Steam? Like, are people going to, on Steam, who already have the game, aren't going to have the option to buy this DLC? Because you're going to buy the game.
That depends, because I don't play Rocket League, so I don't know how it works, but there are many games where basically when you hit play, it just takes you to a launcher. Or maybe that there's some in-game area where you can put the payment, like your purchases through straight away. It will be really easy for them just to get it to set up, like when you hit like on the Epic Store or when you push the button on Steam Store, it just takes you to a PC launcher or like a UI that just lets you spend your money there. At which point, Steam doesn't get any money from any of the new DLCs or anything.
That's right, I went there. Continue.
And it's possible that the Epic Store wouldn't either. It would just go straight to the pub. Wait, hang on a second.
Epic would get money.
Yeah, it just doesn't go through the Epic Store.
Yeah.
It will go through the new UI.
Psyonix Store or whatever. Like, I don't know. That's the only part where I would be like, yeah, people have a right to be a bit about it if you've bought the game on Steam, because who knows if it's going to be supported going forward if it is pulled from Steam, which it might not necessarily be pulled from Steam. I imagine the developer revenue cut might be a bit of a sticking point for them keeping it on Steam, but we'll see.
Yeah, at which point they'll probably just get it to open up the launcher.
Yeah.
And just go, you've got two choices. Either we take it off Steam or we just put a launcher on.
Well, Valve is currently doing their "it's not fair" thing. So, like, if they were given those options, they would probably just spit their dummy out and be like, "Fine, just take it."
Yeah.
We've got all of our rape games and bigot games and porn games. We'll be fine. We'll be fine without you guys. I feel like I'm going to a certain place where everybody's just drunk. Like, Sandy Pitchford's an angry drunk. Steam's a sad drunk.
What we see here is Amy's just got drink on the mind at the moment.
All of Steam's friends are just abandoning them. And she's like, fine, I don't need you guys. Mm-hmm. But, no.
We need to finish this podcast. We need to go get a cup of cocoa.
Again, I mean, fucking... You know, we were talking after the podcast last week about doing a once a month positive podcast. I think I need that more than ever. At this point, fucking video games, man. The response to this has been epic.
Yeah, I got it.
Thanks. So, Epic have bought a video game studio, AAA publishers, how many? Microsoft bought 10.
Yeah. But it's Microsoft. The Microsoft isn't a video game publisher, per se. It's a platform.
It's a platform, sure. So it's Epic, kind of.
Now.
What should be a storefront is actually a platform. And the moral of the story, kids, is PC gaming is dumb. Buy a console. But the way you think, and we're going to get into this in a second, but honestly, you think Epic had actually just on a live stream just fucking smashed into Psyonix fucking studio, kicked the door through with fucking shotguns and just killed all of the pets in the building with the way that people have responded to this. It's just
they have acted without honor.
Let's get into that.
See some comments.
Part 2. Rocket League is getting review bombed because Epic bought Psyonix. Of course it fucking is. Jesus Christ. Grow the fuck up. Honestly. Anyway, this is from Andy Chalk over at PC Gamer, who writes, Epic's acquisition of Rocket League studio Psyonix earlier this week resulted in a predictable reaction. a review bombing campaign that hit the game with more than 2,700 negative reviews on Steam since May 1st. Yet, in spite of that effort, the user review rating, including recent reviews, remains very positive. That's because of the system Valve implemented in March that excludes off-topic review activities from review score calculations, effectively an anti-review bomb shield. An asterisk on the Rocket League review chart leads to a message stating that this time range has been marked as containing an abnormal set of reviews that we believe are largely unrelated to the likelihood that you would enjoy the product. The reviews themselves remain visible in that section of the Steam listing, so you can see the entries, like, for instance, the one from the player with nearly 1,900 hours of playtime who spends multiple paragraphs describing how great the game is before giving it a negative review because you sold your honor.
No, they sold their company.
Yeah, pretty much. These are companies.
Yeah.
They're not football teams or like football players or whatever. I don't understand why people support these companies like they're sports teams.
Don't you?
No, I mean, no, actually, no, I don't.
It's like sports teams isn't probably the best analogy, but it's like when you say stuff like, "Oh, I have all this love for like the OG BioWare and stuff," but most of those people aren't there anymore. That was something that you said a couple of weeks back when we were discussing stuff about BioWare.
I don't remember that specifically, but I don't remember a lot of things specifically. So yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but and because we both loved like BioWare games from like way back and stuff, and we were discussing like the current stuff. But we mentioned like I have a lot of love for them, but this BioWare magic and stuff was being toxic, and aren't we just sitting there going, "Oh, I really like this like developer because of this, this, and this." You get in that sort of tribal mindset a little, but.
I mean, a little. Like, yeah, sure.
At this point, Epic and Steam are kind of forming into a new console wars on a PC because they're developing a sort of tribalism. I mean, I haven't seen it from Epic yet, but we have seen it from Steam. It's like, presumably when, I don't remember this far back, when PlayStation popped onto the scene between PlayStation and Sega, because it always used to be Sega Nintendo. I know you know a lot about this because you keep mentioning on about you read that book.
Read the book. It's awesome.
Sorry. Maybe I have a few books to read first. But it's like, how did people feel when PlayStation until he turned up and started taking all the stuff away from Sega?
You were fucking there. Wait, no, you were there. Do you remember? Oh, shit, when everybody was, it was PlayStation, Nintendo, and Microsoft. And none of the argument, like, everybody was arguing about it because it was the console wars. Like, we have to support one or the other. And it was like, and everybody was making arguments. And none of them made any sense.
None of these arguments make sense, which is why I'm liking Steam Epic to a new console war, but it's happening on the PC.
Yeah. Which
is a new idea. It's basically just two sets of branding smacking into each other.
It's a fucking... It's a fucking launcher. I've got both of them on my computer right now. They cost nothing. Just download both of them, and if a game comes out on one or the other, just fucking buy it and play it. Jesus fucking, how hard is it?
You're gonna have to put a massive dog tag on this episode after that one.
I mean, if I didn't have a PlayStation and God of War came out, and I was like, fuck, I really need to play God of War, I'd have to go out and spend like $200-300 on a PlayStation. Yeah, fair enough, I might be a little bit fucking salty. Like, if I want to play fucking Rocket League in 2020, and I have to download Epic Games Launcher, it's going to take me fucking 2 minutes, and it's not going to cost me God. What is everybody losing their minds over? Oh, well, Epic Games is owned by Tencent, and Tencent's a shitty company. So's fucking Steam! Valve is also a terrible company, or have you missed the last 3 years of PC gaming news?
See, Amy's collected works for more details. What I was going to say, tribalism is part of human psychology, and it's not something that we can really get rid of. We're just going to have to put up with this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I think I've just lost a life. I've been tipped off on something.
No, you haven't. It's just I'm doing a new thing where we're doing highlights, and I thought I'd make a note of that for some reason. No, it's fine. Like I wasn't aimed at you, obviously. Like I just
I don't know. I was just trying to count how many F-bombs he dropped in that one sentence.
I've held it together talking about Steam and Epic for months. And I don't know, man. This is just, for some reason, Rocket League. A game I personally don't even care about. Was the one that finally pushed the self-destruct button. It was like, this is fucking stupid. Oh, the Epic Game Store doesn't have a basket. Neither does the fucking eShop, but you don't see people bitching about Nintendo. Like, just get a grip.
I mean, I did have something I was going to say.
Go ahead.
About this. However, you kind of just went for one on that one. I was basically just going to mention that review bombing has become something of this generation X/Y's favorite form of protest.
Yeah.
On anything regarding media content, be it like games or films and stuff. Basically, their way of voting with your feet, it's putting much energy into it, and not necessarily voting with your wallet.
I was going to say, because the idea is like you still have to buy it to review bomb it. Like that's the crazy part, right? Oh God. I mean, it's just you know what?
Yeah.
Like, it's not even about the games. That's the problem.
No.
Like,
no.
It's got nothing to do with Rocket League. So it's like when Metro Exodus was coming out on the Epic Games Store, and they review bombed the other two Metro games, and Steve's like, what does that have to do with anything? Gee, fucking whiz.
Showing their displeasure.
The most... Right, you can talk, and trust me, we have 157 podcasts behind us. You can talk and talk and talk. It doesn't matter. Just don't buy the game. If everybody just didn't buy the game, then that's the message that Deep Silver, in Metro Exodus' case, would have gotten. You just haven't... Yeah. That's why I don't do THQ Nordic games anymore. That's the message I'm sending. That's how you send a message. You don't talk about it constantly because you're giving them the exposure that they fucking want. It's like people making videos on YouTube, like, just so because they know people are going to hate them. That like button and that dislike button, once they go into YouTube's algorithm, they're exactly the same thing. Like, if you hammer the dislike button on a video, any YouTube content creator is still going to go, thanks, because there's still engagement, and that pushes it higher and higher up. It's more likely for people to get recommended the video. Whereas if you just didn't watch the video, that's less engagement. And it's the same thing here. If you didn't review bomb Rocket League, this wouldn't be a thing that people would be talking about. People are talking about Rocket League. And if I'm talking about Rocket League right now and someone's watching this podcast like, oh shit, yeah, Rocket League, I think I'll play that. I really enjoy that game. Boom. Opposite effect. What's it called? This is the thing for the phenomenon on the internet. The Streisand effect. It's not quite that, but it's close enough.
Barbara Streisand.
People should just stop review bombing stuff because it's really immature. Instead of focusing so much energy on negativity, just focus on being positive about the things that you want to be positive about.
Streisand effect is, the thing of attempt to hide, remove, or censor a piece of information brings it more people's attention.
Like that time Konami took the Hideo Kojima's name off the box.
Yeah, and it got a massive amount of...
And everybody just started sticking it to stuff. I remember Eurogame, I went to Gamescom and wrote it on a post-it note and stuck it to the Metal Gear Solid 5 booth. I like that. That was wholesome content. But yeah, just like focus on being positive about the things that you love instead of trying to tear down the things that you don't like. But I know that there's a specific mentality at work here and in other things, Captain Marvel, that just like people will just want to try and tear these things down. Speaking of tearing things down, let's move on to the next news story. Keith, Riot Games is facing a staff walkout over forced arbitration. This is a two-parter. Strap in. Part 1, Riot employees threaten walkout over forced arbitration. This is from Brendan Sinclair over at GamesIndustry.biz, who writes, Riot Games is dealing with unrest among its ranks. According to Waypoint, employee talk of a walkout at the company has grown loud enough to draw the attention of executives. The current discord at the studio, current discourse? Or is that the right word?
Discord is when things aren't working correctly. So it could be correct.
Or the name of the program we're using, which is the same thing. The current Discord at the studio was stoked by last week's news that Riot wanted a number of employees' gender discrimination lawsuits moved out of the courts into private arbitration proceedings. Riot said the employees in question signed agreements waiving the right to sue the company when they first accepted jobs there. Waypoint reported that Riot's chief diversity officer, Angela Roseborough, addressed the potential of a walkout over the weekend in an employee Slack channel, recognizing that the company was aware some rioters are not feeling heard. Quote, I know yesterday's article about Riot's motion to compel arbitration feels like we're not moving forward. Doesn't just feel like it. And I have to say, for me, it demonstrates we still have work to do. There are pros, cons, and nuances to the discussion of arbitration, especially given the active litigation against Riot. It can be complex, so these types of topics are best discussed live where it's easier to have a conversation, end quote. Roseborough asked employees to ask questions during the company's regular town hall presentation this Thursday and said Riot would hold small group sessions where we can talk through your concerns, asking those interested to add their names to a spreadsheet. That's the end of the first part of the story. I feel like I wouldn't want to add my name to that spreadsheet.
Oh.
I'm suddenly remembering an old film from the 80s, and there was a talking squid guy, and he said this thing, and it became this iconic line. Star Wars.
Oh, right, yeah.
He said a thing, and I
don't know. It's a trap.
It fires in my head. That's the one.
Yeah. Isn't Urban Myth that said that?
It's a trap. No, he did say that.
No, I don't know.
No. I think you're thinking of Beam Me Up Scotty, which they never said in Star Trek. But he definitely said, it's a trap.
Ambush?
No, it's a trap. I mean, I'll put it on right now if you want. But we've got more important things to do.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. JFC, as the kids say on Twitter. Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, there's that quote in there, and there's a second part of the story we're going to talk about in a minute, where she's like, yeah, I know yesterday's article about Riot's motion to compel arbitration feels like we're not moving forward. Doesn't just feel like it. Like, just like, because we talked about the big explosion at Riot last year when Kotaku did their fantastic piece of journalism on everything that was going on at the company. And since
I remember talking about a week later because that thing at PAX blew up for them as well.
Yeah, that did. Yeah. Well, don't get me started on that. We'll be right back to grow up. You feel anyway. The one and only time I've defended Riot in the past 6 months. And even then I wasn't really defending Riot so much as other people. Anyway. Like, we're not moving forward. It looks like you're not moving forward. Like, it doesn't just feel like it. Like, the guy who was... All the guys, in fact, who haven't left the company voluntarily, who were named in that article, all still work at Riot. and this. Like, people like... I don't know. Do you have anything to add before I move on?
Yeah, I mean... I'm not a lawyer. I'm not up on contracts and stuff, but the fact that there is something in the contract with their contract at Riot which says that they waive the right to seek legal, like a legal thing to sexual discrimination. The two things that pops in my mind is is that right? Can that happen? I'm not a lawyer, obviously I don't know. And
B,
what else is in that contract saying that they can't do? Because the stuff that they're like going on about is like misrepresentation and stuff, but it's sexual harassment. If that's covered, how far does that go? And they can't seek legal.
I mean, whatever was in the fucking like whatever was in that like the terms of service or whatever in the contract when they signed it. Like, I didn't fucking stop these people. Like, and at the end of the day, because these are current employees, because former and current employees are suing Riot Games, so some of them are current employees. Like, okay, let's say you go, okay, this is in your contract, like, you can't do this, so you should stop. And then they're like, I'm not going to stop. And then they go, okay, well, we're going to fire you. They're not going to do that. That would be terrible. That would be a terrible idea. Although, like, technically they would be within their rights to do that.
Yeah.
Like, that would be a bad idea. Which is probably why Riot would do it, but because they're full of bad ideas. But
I mean, I think if I remember, a lot of it goes. There's a lot of them on contractors and on contract. So, like short-term, contracts.
Well, a lot of the games industry is built around short-term contracts because
Yeah, I mean, there is one thing to take from it is if Riot is taking this as seriously that they're going to do these groups and stuff because there's enough people claiming they'll walk out. What should happen is they should unionize. If there's enough of them for a walkout that will get Riot worried, then forming a union would prevent the sort of retaliation.
Yeah. Maybe this is it. Maybe Riot is going to be the...
I really don't think it is. I think it's going to take something even worse than everything that's gone on before we get a union.
Something's coming, because here's part 2 of the story. Riot Games will drop mandatory arbitration following walkout threats. This isn't as good as news as it sounds, by the way. This is from James Batchelor over at GamesIndustry.biz, who writes, Riot Games has promised to give employees the ability to opt out of mandatory arbitration, although not until current legal battles have been resolved. Is there anything... Do I need to read any more than that? Because let's look at this one. There's 2 parts to that sentence.
Yeah.
1, they're going to let people opt out. Right, cool. No one knew that... I doubt many people knew that this was a thing until last week. So saying you can opt out of something is like you can opt out of doing something you didn't know you were opting into in the first place. And 2, the only reason they're doing this is to avoid the mass walkouts from their employees who are pissed off because these cases are going to go to arbitration.
Yeah.
Well, these cases are still going to go to arbitration.
Yeah.
So, Riot are going to force it because it was in the contracts. So I'm not sure what Riot are hoping to gain from this particular move specifically, because it's one of those things where it's like, if we say this, people will think, oh, it's like, that's it, we fixed it. But they haven't fixed it. Like, they haven't fixed the one specific thing. It's like they've gone right around the issue that's causing this potential walkout, but haven't actually fixed the issue it's in and of itself. As soon as the current litigation is resolved, we will give all new rioters the choice to opt out of mandatory arbitration for individual sexual harassment and sexual assault claims. Alright, that's a quote. Let me just break that down for a second. What about the current and existing rioters would be my first question.
My first thing is, like, sexual assault goes to arbitration instead of a legal dispute.
That was going to be my second one. The only reason that was first was because that was the first part of the sentence. Are you telling me that if someone sexually assaulted someone at Riot Games, and that woman was brave enough, or that person, sorry, was brave enough to sue the company for that sexual assault to happen, you're telling me you would force that to go into arbitration? Jesus Christ. Unionize. Right now. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm starting to, like... That's mind-blowing. That's mind-blowing. Individual sexual harassment and sexual assault claims. Are you planning on having more? Like... I mean, I know you didn't fire Scott Gelb, so, you must be anticipating more at the very least. What is happening at Riot Games right now? I kind of want to go back, because they were the ones that did that charter, right? For how they were going to be better.
Yes, they did do a chart of how they were going to be better.
I kind of want to bring that up right now, but we don't have the time to find it, and just be like, are they doing any of this? Answer, probably not. Probably not. I mean, at least they do say the company acknowledged that this news will not satisfy all rioters and understands its staff protest against this next week. Is that sentence falls apart at the second half.
Yeah, the only possible silver lining I can see in any of this is that at some point in the future we may get the chance to issue all the media and stuff be able to say rioters riot.
It's getting there, isn't it? It's fucking riot time, Keith. Riot added, we are facing a complicated situation with no perfect solution. I don't know, it seems fairly simple. And it seems like there's a fairly simple solution to the issue, to this specific issue, right? Like, you've gotten halfway there on your own. Well, not on your own, because everybody threatened to walk out. You've gotten halfway there. Like, if you could just get the other half. Oh, fuck. At the end, it does say, over the next 3 months, the company will introduce new anti-harassment training programs, implement a new interviewing process, and commit to speaking to a more diverse range of applicants, and hold workshops with the executive team and senior leaders to establish how the company can better uphold its new values. It's new values.
Yes.
Didn't have any old values. These are their new values.
Well, as you mentioned, they did come up with a whole thing of how they go forward.
Yeah.
And it's just, this is I'm guessing this is still pretty much the fallout from the last round from last year. I mean, it's basically oh well, you were doing so you take this call, okay, yeah, but we're going to force it to arbitration instead of legal thing by activating this part of your contract.
That's like, we're making steps towards getting away from and we're right back there. Congratulations. Any small amount of goodwill that you were building is now gone.
Yeah, I would say they have lost the goodwill, but I have no idea why they did that. I have no idea why they decided to go from a legal proceeding to arbitration. It could be that they thought that they had no chance of winning a case and are doing damage control or something, or it could be something else. Neither of us are legally minded, specifically about the American.
Not. Especially not American employment law.
It is American employment law that we're dealing with here, isn't it? Yeah. I couldn't remember where it was.
In California.
Right.
Here we come.
All I really remember from the last round is the guy took paid leave.
Yeah, that's what happens when you sexually harass everyone who works for you. Paid leave for a little while, come back, everything's fine.
Yeah, it was all the 2 weeks paid leave on the protest.
I don't think it was weeks. I think he was gone for a couple of months. Unfortunately, a lot of bad things happen in the games industry, so it's hard to keep it all straight. Speaking of bad, let's talk about Notch. Notch won't be part of Minecraft's 10th anniversary event due to comments and opinions. This is from Laura Kate Dale over at Kotaku, who writes, as part of an update to all versions of Minecraft last month, Microsoft removed all references to the game's original creator Notch from the game's opening splash screen messages. He still appears in the game's credits, but the update removed any mention of him in Minecraft's opening screens. While no official comment was made at the time explaining his removal, many people theorized that the decision might be a result of Notch's publicly made statements on social media. Over the past few years, Notch has increasingly frequently used his Twitter account and gone public rants, often directed at minority groups. Our best guess was that Microsoft no longer wanted to associate those public statements with its brand any more than was necessary. While we could only speculate on the reasons for his removal from the game's splash screens, a recent article by Variety seems to confirm that Microsoft is trying to distance itself from association with Notch's publicly tweeted beliefs. According to Variety's report, Notch is going to be absent from a Minecraft 10th anniversary event celebrating the past, present, and exciting future of the decade-old franchise taking place soon. While a Microsoft spokesman didn't specifically mention Notch's social media, their comment sure seems to be pointing at that as the reason for his separation from the brand. Quote, his comments and opinions do not reflect those of Microsoft or Mojang and are not representative of Minecraft. Notch has not yet tweeted or made a public statement about the situation, but it does seem his social media stances have become enough of a liability for Microsoft to want a distance from.
See, I did see this blow up on Twitter.
Did it? I just didn't know it blew up on Twitter.
Well, it not blow up on Twitter, but I saw someone mention it after. Well, actually, I think I saw it on here. No, I definitely saw it on Twitter first. But what I saw was for a different reason, which was it might be a link to the original Variety magazine thing, and there was people who were saying, "Oh, they were raising them from the doodah, like from like erasing them from the game and stuff, taking away his like legacy and stuff." And then there was other people going, "I have no, like, I don't understand who this Notch person is. Hatsumiku created Minecraft, and I have no idea why." But there's many people who are going like, "Oh, it's kind of bad what's happening to Notch."
It's really not.
There was more people saying it was Hatsumiku, and then there's other people just going, as you said, that they're grateful that Microsoft's taking the stand.
I'm very.
I have no idea who Notch is. I obviously know he created Minecraft. I used to
follow him like many years ago. He used to be okay, and then he sold Minecraft for like a billion. Like he got like $1 billion. He became a billionaire overnight, and that seems to have broken him as a human being.
Sudden Wealth has a way of. Well, not that we know, but Sudden Wealth is like.
He is one of
people.
He is one of the like in terms of like like Alex Jones. Like all of those kind of people, he is like up there as one of the worst people on fucking Twitter, with a huge following and nothing to do but tweet. I guess, like I'm talking like anything you can imagine: fascism, homophobia, transphobia, sexism, racism, anti-Semitism. He does it all. It all comes in this one nice little Notch package. And this happened like a month ago, where they like sometimes he was referenced in loading screens and splash screens, and like Microsoft updated the game, and then he was gone from that. He's still credited as the creator of the game. Pretty sure Microsoft will never be able to remove him from that. Like because he did create the game. But it's like he's not invited to the party, and I totally respect and understand Microsoft's decision here, because it's like Minecraft is a kids game. Like adults play it, adults love it. It's aimed at kids, and if they like go and search out Notch on Twitter, and everything that I've just said is like right there in your face on his Twitter, because he doesn't just post like once or twice. It's like fucking massive Twitter threads, massive Twitter rants. Microsoft don't want that associated with them in any way, shape, or form. Like, so yeah, fair play. And it was a slow news week, so I was able to stick that in there and be like, "Good job, Microsoft. You're doing it right." I mean, I gave away my position on this by being a decent human being, but by also when we were reading the thing at the beginning and said that it was because he was a piece of shit. There's a reason I'm not a PR person.
Yeah, I understand your position on this. Don't worry.
He's a fucking terrible human being. Let's move on. Speaking of terrible human beings, Keith, Xbox Live's new standards try to define acceptable trash talk. This is from Owen S. Good over at Polygon, and when I originally pulled this, I read the headline and thought, this is going to be a funny story. And then I read it, and I was like, actually, this isn't bad. I mean, not bad. This is actually okay. So let me read it. Xbox on Tuesday introduced... I love the way they've read that. They've written Xbox on Tuesday. It sounds like a new Xbox show. Like, I've got Inside Xbox and...
Yeah, Inside Xbox, Outside Xbox.
Xbox on Tuesday. Xbox on Tuesday introduced a new set of community standards for online conduct, i.e., what is and isn't acceptable behavior. While Microsoft has always had a conduct policy and sanctions for violating it for Xbox Live, the examples and casual tone the standards document uses lets players know how to talk a little trash without going over the line. Quote, "A little trash talk is an expected part of the competitive multiplayer action, and that's not a bad thing. But hate has no place here, and what's not okay is when that trash talk turns into harassment. To further draw the distinction, Microsoft calls trash talk light-hearted banter or bragging that focuses on the game at hand. Harassment is when someone gets personal, disruptive, or likely to make someone feel unwelcome or unsafe. In a series of examples that have travelled Reddit and social media in the past few days, clear themes emerge. Anything using profanity, racial slurs, physical threats, including kill yourself, or insulting someone's national origin, get out of my country, crosses the line. Here are 2 examples of on-point, fair game trash talk that Microsoft would allow. Yeah, the first one is, only reason you went positive was you spent all game camping. Try again, kid. And the second one is, cheap win, come at me when you can actually drive without running cars off the road. What's up, fellow kids? It's not just about chat or DMs. In a section marked Keep It Legal, Microsoft makes... Legalize it, man. Microsoft makes it clear that setting up clubs that promote drug use or underage drinking are off limits. Custom gamer picks showing animal abuse or support of terrorist organizations also a hard no. Naming a club for a high...
So it's just that they had to point that out.
I know, right? Like, they have to point that out. It's like, don't support terrorist organizations in video games, guys. Like, we're making a video game club. Don't support terrorist organizations. Fucking Jesus.
Yeah, it's like, I understand that you like playing Rainbow Six, but please don't call your group ISIS.
What have we come to? Naming a club for a highly controversial figure is also going to violate standards, along with using your activity feed as a platform to promote controversial politics. Inevitably, someone will try to push at that boundary. With this language, Microsoft is effectively saying it reserves the right to determine what is an expression and what is a provocation. The guidelines also list what's not permitted when it comes to content spam or borderline content, such as screenshots from M-rated games. Mature content that makes sense in a game might not be appropriate elsewhere on Xbox, Microsoft says. Also, everyone appreciates a good joke, but if your content is designed to trick others into thinking they're reading or seeing something inappropriate, we'll have to treat it that way. In other words, no tossing up your hands innocently when that visual double entendre is taken as a dirty joke. The update tries to... Yeah.
I know you, Internet.
The update tries to give as many real-world examples of good and bad behaviour without restricting them to hard and fast rules. Obviously, edge cases will abound and a lot of situations will depend on the eye of the beholder, which in this case is Microsoft. As a guide for permitting all kind of... Oh, that's personal opinion of the writer at the end. I'm not going to read that. No offence to Nice Good. It's a good piece. I don't like reading other people's opinions when this is an opinion-based podcast. Terrorist organizations, underage drinking, animal abuse. This is like, I feel like, should I just go back and take a clip from a podcast of the past and go, it's just video games? How have we come to this? And just paste it in and then just call it a day.
That basically just laying down the basics of going, saying, this is common sense, but we don't want anyone coming at us and going, well, you never said we couldn't.
Yeah. It is, like, this is common sense, but there's a lot of non-common sense things that happen in Xbox Live, so we need to actually explicitly state this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the fact it says no profanity, you're never going to get someone...
Yeah, I was a bit weird.
The F-bomb. But if someone's going, like, if, say, Russell got really annoyed at the game in a party chat with us, we know he's not shouting at us. Normally he's shouting at himself, or most often the game, because it's not working for him or the controller's not working.
There's a difference.
But there's that difference if they're shouting, like, F off at someone on the other team or something, or like to another player who they don't know.
There's a difference between swearing and swearing at someone, and I feel like that's the dividing line. Like, fuck this, like, because I've just died. Fuck you. That's the most basic, like, example of the distinction, you know, like, oh, fuck, or fuck you. But, no, I mean, like, they're right, like, about trash talk. Trash talk's part of competitive game. You've played Overwatch with me.
Yeah.
I trash talk the enemy team when they can't even hear what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, we make sure that we can't really hear what else is going on the Xbox.
I mean, me and Fox's, like, the tank line of Overwatch are well known through our Overwatch group and my Twitch channel for, like, trash talking all the time because, like, I don't know, I think it must just be something about playing as a tank. You just, like...
Yeah, I'm suddenly remembering most of the, like, the trash talking comes from you shouting Team Tank.
Team
like,
tank.
That was...
Yeah, and then there's the intra-team Trash talk. Team talk for life.
Yeah.
Team heals. No, fuck team heals.
Yeah.
That was
Where's the heels?
just
Guys.
wow, Tom. But yeah, it's like, like fun banter in a sort of friendly way. But then, I mean, the amount of times you've seen and talked about when it's not fun, friendly banter, it's just like, yeah, it crosses a line a lot. Like, there's a reason a game like Rainbow Six Siege is having to experiment with AI algorithms to try and pick this stuff up.
Yeah,
because it's a big problem.
This isn't how we got Skynet, but this is how we got Ultron. I was built to keep the peace.
Yeah.
So you're built to try and make people stop swearing at each other.
Built to try and stop people calling people racial slurs on Rainbow Six. Nice.
I recently watched it, and I wouldn't have told you.
If you're playing Rainbow Six Siege, and suddenly this voice that you don't recognize is singing a song from Pinocchio in your ear, turn the Xbox off.
I've got no strings to turn me.
Keith, shut up. That's not me. No one else here.
Yeah, Xbox just starts growing red.
Oh, Keith, I've got a red ring. That's weird. I didn't think the Xbox One had red rings. Also, it's still working and I'm still talking to you.
Ultron has put you on notice.
I didn't do anything. Oh, God.
We had some fun at the end of that one.
We did. I mean, I love the two examples that they pulled out where it's just like, they both sound ridiculous. I get where they're coming from with the examples, and but still. Only reason you went positive was you spent all game camping. Try again, kid. Alright, Han Solo, no problem. Sorry.
What's your handle? Oh wait, your handle is Han Solo. Okay.
Try again, kid. Oh, Jesus.
Now think of it in Deathstroke's voice.
Okay, that's better.
Try again, kid.
No, thank you.
Again.
God, imagine the DC character, TV show characters playing like Fortnite.
I thought them playing Overwatch before.
But that's... Oh God. Okay, I think might be on to the last section.
Yeah, we are indeed on to the last section, which is games out this week. Kind of.
Kind of. It is out this week, right? I didn't do it again where I went too far.
Yeah,
no, it's fine. It's this week. That's fine.
Yeah, it's just my clock being annoying.
I was like, I've done it. Oh no, I've done it again. No, I haven't. It's fine.
Yep.
Do you want to go first or second?
Go second.
Oh, why? I wonder why. The games out this week on May 7th, we have Brief Battles on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. We also have Puyo Puyo Champions, that's how you pronounce that, Keith, on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. On May 9th, we have Yakuza Kiwami 2, that's how you pronounce that, Keith, on PC. And also on May 9th, we have Masquerada Songs and Shadows on Switch. That's how you pronounce that one as well. You could go now.
See, the real reason I wanted to go second was so I could do this. For the King! Comes out on PS4, Switch, and Xbox One on May the 7th, 9th, and 10th. Then we have Life is Strange 2, Episode 3, Wastelands on PC, PS4, Xbox One, May the 9th. Then we have Saints Row the 3rd, the full package, coming to Switch on May 10th. And finally, Lovecraft's Untold Story on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, again on May the 10th.
Saints Row the 3rd coming out on Switch. That's a weird one.
It is, because it's not a sort of Switch game, really, when you think about it.
I mean...
Am I correct in thinking full package means it's the full...
I'm guessing it's just their way of saying Ultimate Edition.
I mean, this game has a devil sing-along. The Earth
I don't know if that comes with... I don't know if Get Out of Hell comes with it or not, because that was a
standalone. I thought the full package was why it was coming out.
And that was also from the fourth one, when you were a superhero, not the third one, when you were just...
Oh! So I messed up the Saints games. Right.
No, that's
Oh, this
fine.
is the one
To be
with
fair,
dildo swords then.
this is the one with the dildo bat, yeah.
Yeah.
Not the one with the dubstep gun. That was the fourth one. The dubstep gun was awesome. You've just read, like, this is just reminding me, oh yeah, Life is Strange 2 is still a thing.
Yeah.
What happened to episodic games? Do you remember when episodic games, like the original Life is Strange, and I was always like playing them and being like, yeah, I can't wait for the next episode. And now it's like Life is Strange 2 is coming out, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I'd probably really like that.
Yeah.
But I just,
Hitman. Hitman and Life is Strange and Telltale were the only people that are really the only episodic games I knew of.
Hitman was all I liked. Hitman, like I did Hitman. But even then, I remember actually I got the first episode, and then I didn't buy the unlock for the rest of the series until all the other episodes were out. Even though I thought the episodic model was actually really well done for Hitman, I still waited until the whole thing was out to buy it. Whereas, like, I go back a few years, it's like when The Walking Dead season 1, like I was in on that shit. I was playing that shit as soon as it came out.
Mm-hmm. I think that might just be your.
It's not just me though.
Yeah. Maybe some people are feeling like they're getting burned on buying. For instance, I've been playing a lot of BattleTech recently because they've started releasing the BattleTech novels again. And there is a season pass for the 3 sets of DLC that they're making for the game. And I thought, oh, that'll be cool, I'll get that. And I was like, wait, I actually see what these things are going to be. And the second one comes out in a couple of months, and I'm still looking at like, is this going to be worth it? Like, when it's all out, I mean...
I don't know, it's a weird thing. Because, like, yeah, if it was just me, I'd just be like, oh yeah, I've just gotten over episodic games. But I've been talking to other people who were just like... Because Life is Strange, many people probably don't know or remember this, but when... In 2015, my game of the year, top 3, went Until Dawn, Life is Strange, The Witcher 3. Like... The Life is Strange is one of my favourite story games ever. And then Life is Strange 2. And even when we were sat next to each other when The Adventures of Captain Spirit was announced at E3 last year, last June, and it was like, fuck yeah, Life is Strange. But then Life is Strange 2 came out, and it was just like, I was nonplussed. The Walking Dead, the final season came out, and if they didn't give me a code for it, I probably would have been like, yeah, whatever. What? Yeah. And I don't understand. It's not the games, it's the model.
I mean, I do remember you saying something about being burnt out on the Walking Dead a long time ago.
Yeah, that was the third one. It was a side. It was like a side story that didn't really matter, and this and that and the other. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of the first one season and the second season were more or less. The second season was trying to be the first season again, and then the third season was trying to be different, but it was too different. And then
yeah. I'm just thinking you're gonna have to put another like bulletin thing at the end of this, like in the timestamp. So basically, we discussed the like.
Well, this was always because this was always my thing with games out this week, to actually discuss the games out this week. But we've only just recently gotten into a position where we're not where we're not running so far over that we just have to do it and then bounce, because we've been going for like fucking ages. Yeah. Because when we changed the format of the podcast, we somehow added like so much time to it, even though we talk like, yeah, it's weird. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what some of these games are. I don't know what one of these games are, but still. It's the first one, Brief Battles. No idea. I assume it's something to do with underwears, anthropomorphic underwear fighting each other.
That's a game out there somewhere.
I mean, it might be. Whoa! Sorry, everybody. You just saw my. You probably just saw a white thing of my internet loading because it opened 16 tabs. I'm just gonna find out and then we can go. Could you imagine if it was about a thing about anthropomorphic? I mean, the tagline for the game is "May your butt reign supreme." So I'm feeling really strong about this now. Okay, Brief Battles. May your butt reign supreme. Brief Battles brings bottom-up action to your screen in a party game with a cheeky twist. It's all about the undies. Start hilarious battles with nothing but your buttons to slam and squish those in your sights. Scramble to grab superpowered undies to embrace the power of the butt and gain an underwear-fueled edge over your friends as you strive to prove who has the mightiest buns. It is a local multiplayer. It's a fighting game.
Yeah.
And everybody's underwear. So, I've gone from, what's this, to, I think it's this, to, it is actually this, to, I'm going to buy that so we can play it when we're together. On streams.
You're not actually underwear, you're people running around.
Yeah, and you put underwear on. I was close, though. I mean, come on. For a guess, that was pretty solid. And on that note, no, we're not going to top that. So that's going to do it for this episode of The Words of Both Gamescast, episode 157. I dropped an F-bomb. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
May I drop another one? Who knows? Say bye, Keith.
Bye-bye.